Here's another Parent of the Year contender. Yeah, nothing says responsible father like bringing your kid to the African bush in a Jeep with no roof on it. Yeah, don't worry, honey. That's just Chester Cheetah. He won't maul your face off. He's just looking for Cheetos. You know, it really amazes me how this is considered a normal activity by a huge portion of our society to bring your kids to. You know, and you see this all the time. I've covered this before. Dads bringing their kids to chase grizzly bears. Look at these people running towards bears with their kids in their hand. Yet there never seems to be any consequences for these parents. You notice that? Isn't that what Child Protective Services are for? Are they no longer in service? I mean, how many times do we see kids constantly put in positions they never should be in? I mean, it's all documented for the world to see. I mean, we live in a country where breaking eggs on your kid's head was an actual trend. You got Insta-floozies using their kids as production assistants. Yeah, last time I heard from CPS, they were investigating a mom for letting her kids play outside. You know, the thing everyone who's ever lived did throughout their entire childhood before everyone became enslaved by smartphones and tablets. Yeah, can't have that anymore. Yeah, instead of letting her kids play outside, she should take her kids to Africa. You know, wheel them into the bush to see the cheetahs. That'll get CPS off her back. You know, I was thinking the other day, maybe we should call them. Maybe we should call CPS. I mean, maybe I got this all wrong. Maybe they are doing something about these things and it's just not being reported. I mean, let's go right to the source. Hey, let's get it set up here. Let's see what they think of this stuff.
Child welfare, how can I direct a call?
How you doing? This is Bill. I'm calling to get some general information about your services. Is there anybody there that I could talk to?
Services, is it like a child welfare services?
Yeah. You know, I'm thinking about being a father someday, and I wanted to get an idea of what activities I could do with the kid that, you know, wouldn't violate any CPS ordinance. And, I know this kind of sounds like a odd call, but I just something told me that I should be a responsible person based on what I've been seeing online lately, and it's a little confusing about what you guys enforce and what you don't. So I don't know if there's somebody there that could give me some kind of, just basic information.
Just a basic information, like parenting, basically.
Yeah.
I like that. And you're thinking of like fostering at all, or
well, possibly. I'd like to bring my kid on an African safari in one of those Jeeps with no roof or windows on it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I saw a video, of a family that brought their kid on one of them, and a cheetah jumped onto the Jeep. I don't know if you saw this. I mean, it's crazy stuff.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. I saw that.
Yeah, and I always wonder, I go, does anybody do anything about this? I would think that this would be a job for the Child Protective Services, but I never see any follow-up to something like that. And I'd like to do that. But, I don't want to be crossing over into murky waters here. You know what I mean?
When it comes to that cheetah, I can't really tell. I'm not sure if it happened here in different states.
So as long as I bring the kid, outside of the country, then it's safe enough for me to do?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think, when it comes to safety.
Yeah.
I'm just here, just a person, okay?
Right.
When it comes to safety, I think it will. What do I say? How do I say it? And it's at the same time, it's like common sense. Like, make the child, give them a safe environment. Parent them.
That's what I would think. And then, obviously you guys have a lot of common sense. So I would imagine that if you had footage of people driving small children into a remote open field with lions, you would investigate the people who put them in danger, right?
I mean, you can go to safari if you want, as long as you don't have any ill intention to, like, feed the kids.
Oh, I see. As long as my intentions aren't to feed my kids to the lions, I can bring them there to have cheetahs swipe at their face.
I'm just saying.
So I guess it's like, I guess the important thing really is to just, keep the house temperature, at the proper level. Don't leave the mattress on the floor. No clutter on the stairs. I mean, like housekeeping things, right? Because I saw an article the other day about how a mom got investigated for letting her kid play outside. Did you see that one? Now, this has been an ongoing investigation, but I never see any articles about people who do the things that I want to do with my kid.
I see.
You know what I mean? That's really why I'm calling, because I don't ever see a follow-up for these things, which I would think that society would deem more dangerous and more life-threatening. So I'm getting a few mixed signals from you guys, if you understand. For example, here, like I'd like to bring my kid, ATV out in the desert someday. A lot of parents do that, but see, I want to right. So what I want to do though is I don't want the kid to know that I have water with me. You know what I mean? Like I want to toughen the kid up. I just think that it would benefit him to crawl back to civilization. You know what I mean? And then when he's like on his last leg, I'd show him that I had water. And then what happens is that it teaches him to be prepared. I want to train this kid to be a pit fighter, like a UFC fighter or something like that. You can't coddle him. You know what I mean?
The intention, I get it. I get the intention. It's how you, like, do it, like I get the idea.
Here's another thing: is I like to drink a little bit, and I'm a daredevil, and it's like I want to make sure it's okay for me to bring a kid in between those two things. You know what I mean? Like, would that be a problem too? Because I see a lot of parents, that are alcoholics, and I'm not saying I am, but I don't ever see anybody stepping in and taking these kids away or reprimanding these parents. So I just want to know, like, could I indulge a little bit? Would that be okay, or should I be worried about that?
Indulge in alcohol, right?
Yeah.
Is that what? Yeah. Like, I'm just trying to, like,
Well, you know how kids are. I mean, they're a lot. When they go to bed, you throw a couple back, maybe a pint of vodka, just to get through the night. I mean, but I don't want to do it if it's going to get me in trouble. Like, I just want to know, like, is that okay for me to do? Is that okay for the kid to be? I don't want to be investigated for that. I'll make sure that my batteries are in my smoke alarm. Don't worry about that. And I won't have a mattress on the floor. It's just, I want to make sure I can drink a little bit.
Personally, for me, okay, this is just me personally. I don't think you should do that, especially if you're the only guardian and you have the kids around you. Just that's me. Okay, like.
Okay. Another thing, I have a friend here. Okay, I know a friend who married one of those Insta floozies. Did you ever hear of those? Those are those people, those women you see online who post half naked photos of themselves with their kids in the background of the photos. You ever see those? And sometimes the kid's taking a picture of them. You ever see stuff like that online? And
I think I know what you meant. Yeah.
Yeah, and I wonder, and I go, how come why are they allowed to keep posting that? I mean, there's all the information you need that they're an unfit parent. You would think that Child Protective Services would step in. I mean, it's all documented. See, that's the thing, is I'm getting mixed signals.
Oh, I see. So if you mentioned, like, you have a friend like that, so like, we won't really know unless it's reported to us. So if you want, you can always, like, call our hotline, and that way we'd be, that would kickstart an investigation.
Okay, should I forward his wife's Instagram to you? Do you think that would be a start?
No, unfortunately, I can't just, like, receive information here.
Got it.
What I can do is, because the hotline is a different branch from us, so they are the ones who receive them, who would kickstart an investigation and who would assign a worker.
You know what? This is really good because it sounds like you're saying that this would trigger an investigation, and I wonder
Yes.
why people don't just forward all these Instagram accounts to you guys. It's like we all see this happening all day. You know what I mean? It's like we should do our part as citizens here and band together and do something about these people instead of
Yes.
liking their photos and enabling them. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I mean, you can definitely call the hotline for that. Like, so if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it
No
does.
one's calling, then how are we gonna like? No.
No, it's
Like that.
no. You're so right. You're so right. Look, I don't want to take up any more of your time. You've been the best. What I think I'm going to do is I have a couple nieces and nephews. They're about 3 or 4. I think I'm going to book that safari in Africa. So I got to run. But look, I really appreciate all your time. You're really really pleasant person. I appreciate it.
Do you mention about your friend? Do you want to write down the number for the child abuse hotline as well?
Yeah, is that
Talk to
online? Could I
them, and
look up?
they will have more information.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate that. I'll probably think about that a little bit because I'd probably ruin the relationship with him. If I do that, probably. So I gotta pick the kid over him. You know what I mean? It's a tough decision.
Mhm.
You know?
Alrighty.
Yeah. And maybe it's the liquor talking. You know what I mean? Could
Yeah, that could be too. All right, sir. I'm gonna have to drop. And if anything else, feel free to call here again for any hotline abuse. I can always transfer you to them.
Okay. Well, I appreciate all your help. I'm gonna run and wish my nieces and nephews good luck out there in the bush.
Okay. All right, sir. You have a good day.
You too. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
I think we learned a lot here, guys. Yeah. See, we learned something here today. Send these videos to CPS. They want them. You heard her. I mean, if you see something, say something. I guess nobody knew that we could do this. I don't know. Down with the insta floozies, I guess.